1990, and stand for the invocation, please. Shall we pray? Our Father and our God, it's truly good to be able to stand here with these graduates, these parents and friends and family, to honor these young people who have worked so hard. We pray, Lord, that you might honor us with your presence, that you might guide these proceedings, and you might direct all the things that are done here, that these young people might not forget the past that they have worked so hard in, but that they might take that past and use it to build upon a future. We thank you for all the things that you've done, for the blessings that you've given us, and for those challenges that have brought us this evening. In Jesus' name, amen. You may be seated.
Our speaker tonight is Dr. Wilfred Conacher, a member of the McLean class of 1940. After graduating from McLean, Dr. Conacher attended Ohio University, where he received the Bachelor of Science degree with a major in physical science, chemistry, and a minor in mathematics. He served with the U.S. Army at the Oak Ridge National Laboratories, the Met Labs at the University of Chicago, and the Mound Lab at Dayton. He was assigned with a special engineering detachment working with the Manhattan Project. Following his service with the military, Dr. Conacher received his master's degree from Ohio University with a major in physics. He earned his doctorate degree from Washington University in St. Louis with a major in nuclear physics. Dr. Conacher completed further study in electrical engineering at Michigan State University, University of West Virginia, and the Ohio State University. He has served as research associate at Washington University. He was co-founder and vice president of Nuclear Research and Development Incorporated, co-founder and vice president of Nuclear Corporation of America, co-founder and vice president of Telray Incorporated, founder and president of Nuclear Consultants Corporation, co-founder of Infocare Incorporated, vice president of Mollenkrodt Incorporated, director of the Ohio University Innovation Center and Research Park, co-founder and president of Embryogen Incorporated. He has served as a medical physics consultant to many major hospitals throughout the nation, as well as consultant to major corporations. He has served on many commissions, including the Atomic Energy Commission Advisory Committee, the Missouri Atomic Energy Commission. He has served or is currently serving as a member of the St. Louis College of Pharmacy Board of Trustees. He's a member of the Alumni Board of Trustees, Ohio University, Vice President, Alumni Board of Directors, Ohio University, President, Alumni Board of Directors, Ohio University, Trustee of Ohio University Fund Board, Chairman of the Ohio University Fund Board. Served on the Presidential Search Committee at Ohio University. He's a member Board of Directors of the Atomic Industrial Forum, Trustee, Washington University National Alumni Board, Chairman, Washington University National Alumni Board, member of the Board of Trustees, St. Louis Opera Theater, member of the Board of Directors of Embryogen. Dr. Conacher is a member of many professional organizations, including the American Physical Society, Society of Nuclear Medicine, Health Physics Society, American Nuclear Society. Dr. Conacher is married to Ann Lee Hancock Conacher. They have a daughter, Barbara Lynn Conacher Webster. Dr. and Mrs. Conacher reside in Ellisville, Missouri. I present to you Dr. Conacher.
Superintendent
Carter, Dr. Strain, members of the graduating class of 1990, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, after that introduction, maybe I better sit down right now and save my image. It's always a great pleasure to get back to Greenfield, to meet old friends, and to revisit familiar places, such as this wonderful high school facility that we have here. It's been nearly 50 years to the day since I last was at a McLean High School graduation. To be exact, it was May 23rd in 1940, when the class of 40 graduated from McLean High. At 18, 50 years sounds like an eternity. That's almost a half a century. At 68, it really doesn't seem that long, I have to admit. Much has happened in my personal life over these 50 years. I went to college, served in the Army, went back to school for an advanced degree, got married, started a business, had a daughter, more recently a beautiful little granddaughter, and even tried to retire, but I've seemed to flunk that effort. There have even been greater changes that have taken place throughout the world in this last 50 years. I thought it might be interesting to look back, review some of the more important changes, and perhaps even try to predict what I think might happen in the next 50 years that will affect this graduating class. I must admit, however, that my hindsight is much better than my prediction of the future, but I'll try. In the spring of 40, the war clouds hang heavy over all of Europe, and in a short 2.5 years, the U.S. was drawn into this conflict. All of our lives changed drastically for the next 4 years. Many of us served in the armed forces, some never returned. In fact, one of our classmates was killed in the first day at Pearl Harbor. That war was hardly over when we were once again involved in another, the Korean War. This war, in turn, was only over a few years when we became involved in the Cold War. Although this was never a shooting war as such, it has had a major effect on our nation for the past 40 years. In the 60s, of course, we became involved in another shooting war. That was the Vietnam conflict. For the better part of 50 years, wars, both hot and cold, have been the single greatest influence, I believe, either directly or indirectly, not only on our nation, but in turn on our own private lives. Except for World War II, the Cold War has been our most costly, not only in terms of dollars, but more importantly in terms of natural resources and manpower. As you know, that war was to stop or at least contain the spread of communism throughout the world. It has been a long and costly venture. However, we're finally seeing the results that we had hoped for. Last November, the Berlin Wall came down. East Germany, Poland, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Romania, all have declared their independence and have overthrown communism for a democratic form of government. What a tremendous difference this should make over the next 50 years for you people. I believe we will see a much more stable world in the future, with most of the world enjoying and prospering under a democratic form of government. Hopefully, our efforts can now be directed in a more positive direction, that is, to help solve many of our people problems: hunger, poverty, education, and the ecological mess that we find ourselves in. I wish I could predict that there will never be another war. However, as long as there are haves and have-nots, as long as there are greedy people obsessed with money and power, there will be conflicts. However, as more countries adapt democratic forms of government and open economies, we can look forward to a much more stable and peaceful world. How will these changes affect you people in the graduating class of 90? Much for the better, I believe. You will, however, be faced with another kind of war. This will be an economic war. Some years ago, the U.S. basically had all the raw materials it needed and or could use. from oil to food. We manufactured the products we needed and relied very little on products from outside of our own borders. This has changed radically just in the past couple of decades. We are truly in a global economy. If you don't believe it, just look at the cars in the parking lot, or your TV set, or your VCR. The class of '40 principally had to compete for jobs with graduates from Washington Courthouse, Chillicothe, Hillsborough, around the state. You people of the class of 1990 must compete with Germans, Japanese, Italians, and French, to mention only a few. You can compete, but only if you are properly prepared to do so. You already have a great advantage by the fact you are being graduated from an outstanding high school where you have received an above average education. I urge each of you to go further in your education and training. Whether you go to a university, a college, a junior college, a technical college, a trade school, or apprentice type position. The U.S. is still way ahead of all countries technologically, but to keep this edge, we must have well-trained people. The U.S. is not ahead of other countries as far as productivity is concerned. That is, how much product do we produce per man-hour of labor? Through improved work ethics and better technology, we must and can improve our productivity, making us more competitive with the rest of the world. Let's take a quick look at a few of the many technological changes that have taken place since 1940. Transportation. In 1940, there were a few fledgling airlines, mostly carrying mail with a few passengers. The largest planes carried maybe a dozen or so people and could travel non-stop a few hundred miles. Today, the nation is crisscrossed with air routes served by jets, which can carry up to 450 people and travel thousands of miles non-stop. The Concorde can fly from New York or Washington to London or Paris in a little over 3 hours. What does the future hold in this? Supersonic planes will take you from coast to coast, New York to Los Angeles in a little over an hour, New York to London in an hour. Long trips such as these will be at very high altitudes, traveling 3,000 miles an hour. Shorter distances will be served by jets traveling 800 to 1,000 miles an hour, and smaller towns and cities will be served by vertical takeoff airplanes, thereby requiring much shorter landing strips. I predict we'll finally wise up and bring back the rail service. However, the new trains will not be like the past. They will be like those in Japan and Europe, which travel on a cushion of air at speeds up to 150 to 200 miles an hour. Our cars will be more fuel efficient and safer. The fuel will not be gasoline, perhaps hydrogen, the byproduct of which will be water instead of carbon dioxide. Will we have routine trips to the moon by 2040? I believe we'll be capable of that, but I'm not sure how much demand there will be. A week's vacation on the moon really doesn't sound that great. In 1940, a computer was a mechanical adding machine, or a Chinese abacus. The first electronic computers developed in the early 40s used vacuum tubes. Hence, a computer which had the capacity of the present Apple or IBM personal computer would require a room certainly as large as this whole stage just to house it. The discovery and or development of the silicon wafer chip and printed circuits have made the very powerful computers of today possible. The fastest computers today can handle 1 million or better calculations per second. The supercomputers of tomorrow will be able to do billions of calculations per second. We already have small, dedicated computers in our automobiles, microwaves, coffee makers, and a whole array of products which automatically control various functions. These small computers, which are essentially a single chip, will be used for all types of devices to make our lives better and easier. In the future, all homes will be wired, just as we wire for electrical service today, for computer control of lights, heat, security, radio, television, intercoms, communication, and computers which will be used for banking, shopping, making reservations, all types of things. Can we make computers which can think for themselves? Almost, but not quite. They will always require a human input and control. Communications. In 1940, we weren't too far removed from the crank phone and the party line. All calls had to go through an operator, and long-distance calls could take up to hours. Today, we can direct dial any place in the world. We have cordless phones and cellular car phones. In the future, we will have small cordless phones, which we can carry in our pockets, and will be able to call any place in the world from any place in the world via satellite. We will have picture phones, so we can see the person at the other end of the line and be seen. I'm not sure that will always be a great advantage, however. The field of medicine has changed and advanced more in the last 50 years than in the previous 500. Sulfa drugs were first used during World War II. Penicillin was developed a few years later. Today, we have many antibiotics, each developed for a specific bacteria. Perhaps some of the greatest advances have been achieved in the diagnostic area. X-rays have gone from simple snapshots, if you like, to essentially movies, to CAT scans, which can, in effect, look down as though a cross-section of the body. Nuclear medicine, an area that I've been involved with most of my career, has made it possible to examine the function of most vital organs, such as the heart, lung, liver, kidney, by the use of radioactive isotopes, which act like small X-ray machines inside the body. Hundreds of new drugs have been developed for the cure and/or relief of many diseases. Organ transplants are an everyday occurrence today. What's in the future for medicine? Still better diagnostic procedures will be developed. These will be faster, more accurate, and allow the doctor to diagnose diseases or malfunctions in their early stages, making the treatment more effective and less costly. One very promising technology is the new magnetic resonant imaging equipment, which gives pictures similar to X-rays, but with better resolution and without the use of X-rays and their potential harm. There are very few drugs available today which are effective against viruses, not only the AIDS virus, but all types of virus, herpes, and others. Much research is presently underway to develop antiviral drugs. Since there have been very few drugs to treat viruses, there have been very few diagnostic tests for their detection. That, of course, is changing very rapidly today. Organ transplants will be further perfected, making possible the routine replacement of most organs of the body. Artificial blood will be used in the place of human blood during surgery. Most cancers will be treatable, many even preventable. Life expectancy will raise from the present 76 years to 85 or 90 years. New drugs will be biochemical. That is, the same type of compound as the body itself produces to ward off and fight diseases and/or promote healing. This leads me into an area that I believe will be the greatest technological changes will take place in the next 50 years. That is the area of biotechnology. Some 20 years ago, two English researchers discovered how to read the complex human genetic puzzle. They found all inherited characteristics were carried on our chromosomes by certain molecules which we know today as DNA. Since that time, scientists have learned how to identify and separate the individual pieces of these genes and have been able to alter them. How can this technology be of use to man? First, we are able to alter the genetic makeup of livestock and plant material. Already there are transgenic swine which have been produced, which are 30% more feed efficient, 25% less fat, and are much more disease resistant. Laboratory animals, which have human type of disorders, have been developed, which will be invaluable in research for and development of new drugs. Tomatoes with less water and firmer meat for better canning have been developed, along with corn plants, which are resistant to widely used herbicides. New medical diagnostic tests, which are faster and more accurate, have been developed using the DNA, which is really the fingerprint of any living organism. With this, we're able to identify not only bacterial and viral infections, but also genetically inherited diseases. In the past, drugs were produced from basic chemicals, which affected certain body functions or destroyed certain types of infections. None of these drugs occurred naturally. They were all synthesized. Now that we're learning how the DNA controls and codes for the production in our bodies of the natural biochemicals, we're able to produce them in quantity outside of the body. For example, the gene for the production of human insulin has been identified, separated, and taken and transferred into certain types of bacteria, making it a permanent part of the genetic makeup of that bacteria. When the bacteria is grown in large vats, very much like brewing beer, it has in its genetic makeup instructions to produce insulin as well as its other functions. Hence, for the first time, we have an abundant supply of human insulin for the treatment of diabetic patients. This is only the beginning. Biotechnology will totally revolutionize the way we develop and make drugs. I predict that biotechnology will not only revolutionize the drug industry, but also the chemical industry, and will make major changes in how we grow our food supplies. In fact, many scientists today predict that biotechnology will have as great an effect on man in the future as the discovery of fire did thousands of years ago. Some of these new technological developments will cause real concern with the general public, especially in this area of biotechnology, where we can already alter the genetic makeup of animals and plants. Gene therapy, where human genes are altered to treat genetically inherited diseases, will be possible. How should this new knowledge be used and controlled? The scientists who develop these new technologies develop these new technologies in an effort to learn and better understand the basic scientific facts, and are usually completely unconcerned as to their ultimate practical or commercial use. It is the responsibility of not only these scientists, but also the general public to control the use of this knowledge. Not all of you are going to become scientists, I'm sure, but I surely hope some of you will. But I do urge all of you to prepare yourself to have at least a very general basic knowledge of some of these technologies, so that you can intelligently direct your congressmen and representatives on the proper controls as well as the proper usage of these. I believe the class of '90 has a fantastic 50 years to look forward to, and to enjoy a way of life and a standard of living never before enjoyed by man. You will have many opportunities, but you must always remember, opportunities carry with it responsibilities. I hope you make the best of both of them. Before I congratulate you, I have a little announcement to make. Two institutions have been very important in my life: McLean High School and Ohio University. I have wanted to pay back in some small way what I have received from both of those institutions. I hope I have come up with a good solution of that. I have set up, starting this year, a scholarship fund at Ohio University. It will be an ongoing scholarship. Each year, one student from McLean High School will be awarded a full scholarship. That is, room, board, tuition, books, the whole works. We will award the first one. It gives me very great pleasure to announce this evening the recipient of the first Ohio University full scholarship. Mr. William Doan.
Dr. Conacher, thank you very much for providing the scholarship. At this time, it is a pleasure to introduce Mr. Jack Ellis, Vice President for Development at Ohio University and Executive Director of the Ohio University Foundation, who will respond for Ohio University. Mr. Ellis.
Good evening. Members of the platform, honored graduates of the class of 1990, proud parents and families, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. and Mrs. Conacher. I bring you greetings from Dr. Charles J. Ping, who is president of Ohio University and who would be here this evening to help celebrate this very special occasion, but who was pressed into service for the state of Ohio by Governor Celeste, inasmuch as Dr. Ping is the senior president among the 13 state universities in Ohio, and he was recruited to join Governor Celeste on the current trade mission to Japan and Hong Kong as the lead educator. He's currently there, and I know that Dr. and Mrs. Ping, they hold Will and Ann Lee very, very dear to their hearts as close friends and as educational allies, and they're terribly disappointed that they can't be here this evening. However, it's my good fortune to be here and to follow Dr. Conacher to the microphone this evening and to tell all of you this evening a bit more of this gentleman, reared and educated in Greenfield, Highland County, Ohio. Now, I'm going to probably embarrass Will Conacher because he is a very humble man. He doesn't seek out accolades, but we're going to give him a couple. But before I do that, I would also like to congratulate Bill Doan on his being the very first Conacher Scholar. We look forward, Bill, to your arrival in Athens this fall at Ohio University and following your career over the next 4 years of your studies. As Dr. Conacher says, it's for full tuition, books, room, meals. It's valued at approximately $6,000 a year or $24,000 over the 4 years of your undergraduate studies at Ohio University. I understand there are also 9 other members of this graduating class who have been accepted into Ohio University, so we're just delighted that we have such a fine representation, and we're looking forward to having 10 of you in Athens this evening. And Bill, you will be joined the next year with another Conacher Scholar from McLean, and another the next year, and the year after, until we will have 4 Conacher Scholars on campus, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior years, and they will continue thereafter forever, thanks to Dr. Will Conacher. Secondly, I'd like to congratulate Mrs. Ann Lee Conacher, for she compliments Dr. K in every way. They are indeed a team, and Mrs. Conacher endorses and supports Will's philanthropy with a full and enthusiastic heart. Thank you, Ann Lee. Would you please stand? And I congratulate the community of Greenfield, for it was in this town and with you and your families that the seed was sown which influenced a young Will Conacher. It was here where he was reared and nourished, and where the values and standards for achievement for excellence were established. It was in Greenfield where the pace and direction for his life began, where the seed of human compassion, idealism, and the desire to share with others the fruits of his own good fortune was planted. This is a man of immense character and humility. As Horace Greeley said, fame is but a vapor, popularity an accident, riches takes wings, only one thing endures, and that is character. And Will Conacher daily exhibits the values and ethics learned here in Greenfield, Ohio, and shares these distinct qualities of personal character throughout the world. It is a world that he travels frequently. Scientist, entrepreneur, businessman, educator, humanitarian, philanthropist, volunteer, civic leader, husband, father, and now grandfather, and friend, all describe Will Conacher. He was one of the most natural, brilliant, unassuming, self-effacing, quiet, loving men you could ever know, and his achievements throughout this country and throughout the world are legend. Father of the nuclear pharmaceutical industry, eminent scholar and researcher, business and corporate mogul with one of the world's leading chemical companies. He has faithfully served his alma maters of Greenfield McLean, Ohio University, and Washington University in St. Louis. As was said earlier, and I will not go through all of the litany of his many affiliations, but at Ohio University he has stood out as a mentor and as a peer. He has served as the president of the Alumni Association. He and his wife gifted the Alumni Center at Ohio University, which you will become familiar with, Bill, when you arrive on campus, and all the other students that come to Ohio University. The Alumni Center is called the Conacher Alumni Center. That was given that name by the Board of Trustees. He is a trustee of the Ohio University Foundation and was former chairman of that organization. He is the president and director of the Ohio University Innovation Center and Research Park, for which he is paid the enormous salary of $3 per year. He is a founder of a company in Athens called DNX, which is a world-class leader in the field of genetic engineering, and which will ultimately benefit humankind through the expansion of knowledge in this new field of research and study. And yet still, he finds time as a volunteer to serve as the co-chairman of our university's multi-million-dollar campaign, which will be launched this fall. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, Greenfield has produced one of the finest and generous men of our time. Will Conacher lives the philosophy of Dr. Albert Schweitzer, who said, "Whatever you have received more than others, in health, in talent, in ability, in success, in a pleasant childhood, in harmonious conditions of home life, whatever. All of this must not be taken to yourself as a matter of course. In gratitude for your good fortune, you must render some sacrifice of your own to another life. Will Conacher, I know, takes pride, great pride, in his Greenfield heritage, and I've heard him say many times he received a first-rate education here. He could not have come to Ohio University had it not been for a scholarship, however, and tonight he is influencing once again another life through the permanent endowment and the scholarship that was announced and awarded this evening. I know this brings joy and satisfaction to Dr. and Mrs. Conacher to share with Bill Doan and the future students the privilege of furthering your education and enhancing your opportunities for personal success and lifelong satisfaction. My counsel to you, the class of 1990, is to remember from whence it came and how and why and from whom, and when the opportunity comes to you to do likewise, do it, as has Will Conacher. Life is a mirror. It reflects back whatever image we present to it. It reflects back what image we present to it. Will and Ann Lee, yours is a noble and a glorious reflection.
As principal of McLean High School, it gives me great pleasure to publicly thank Dr. and Mrs. Conacher for this very generous endowment. I would also like to thank Mr. Ellis and his staff. They've been most helpful in the establishment of this fund. We did very little here at the high school. They handled all of the details, and they've been very delightful to work with. Thank you very much. Michael Allen Hutchinson, president of the class of 1990, will now address the class.
On behalf of the class of 1990, I would like to thank many of the people who have helped us to get here today. This senior class is a very special one, and it is something to be proud of. Over 44% of the students are planning to further their education after high school. 30% have received scholarships to further their education. 12% are on National Honor Society, and 14% have received awards of distinction for basic studies. One member of our class served as state president for the Junior Classical League as well as for the Future Homemakers of America. Members of our class have set athletic records as well in football, track, wrestling, basketball, baseball, and softball. We've shown our creative side on the stage in national art shows and in superior rated band. We've had a great deal of help in attaining our goals, and I would like to thank our parents and families for their help, support, and love, and our administration, teachers, and counselors for their encouragement and guidance, and also our friends for cherished friendship and lifelong memories. To achieve all that is possible, we must attempt the impossible. It's truly an appropriate motto for the class of 1990. Our past shows that we have achieved the impossible, and our future offers another challenge that we will attempt to meet. Good luck to all of you. Thank you.
William Glenn Doan, valedictorian of the class of 1990, will now address the class.
Dr. Conacher, members of the school board, administration, faculty, fellow seniors, family and friends, good evening. How often have many of us sat in a classroom and wondered why we were being forced to learn what was being taught? How are we ever going to use quadratic theorems? Why must we do scientific notation? And why must we be able to diagram sentences? Still, it's funny sometimes how that useless information can surface from our brains and make its mark on us much later. 3 years ago, I sat in Latin 2 and listened patiently as Miss Noland taught us some catchy Latin phrases that seemed to have no real purpose at all. For instance, cave canem, translated, beware the dog. Vittori te salutamus, translated, we who are about to die salute you. Carpe diem, translated, seize the day. Seize the day. This seemingly useless Latin phrase now bears great significance tonight. The way I interpret this phrase is to make the most out of every day, to not lose a minute by being idle, and to take every second and grasp all the life from it that you can. Before you tonight is the class of 1990, who have seized the day. They have seized the day in almost every way possible, by being performers, athletes, musicians, scholars, artists, and well, teenagers. Before you tonight are a group of people who have put a smile on people's faces, who have helped us forget our troubles for a little while. For instance, the drama department this year had a very colorful, delightful, moving musical in which many seniors participated in, Carpe Diem. To the drama department, we wish you continued success. In other words, break a leg, etc., etc., etc. Also before you tonight are a group of people who have battled it out on the fields of glory for McLean's honor. Our athletic teams this year have done many things to make us proud. Our football team won our homecoming this year, a feat not accomplished in 4 years. Our girls volleyball team, swim teams, the wrestling team, boys and girls varsity basketball teams, boys baseball team, girls varsity softball team, the boys and girls track team all did well this year. In fact, all of our teams played with pride, earning honor for McLean and for themselves, self-respect. Carpe diem. To the future athletes, we wish you good luck and don't break a leg. Before you tonight are a group of people who have taken on the worst that the teachers threw at them and came back victorious. These people are unsung heroes that get good grades. The best indication of our victories is that 59 students are going on to get a further education. Carpe diem. In other words, hit the books harder, say hit them with a sledgehammer. Before you tonight are a group of people who have expressed their feelings and their world on canvas. The artists of Greenfield have done us proud the last few years. Many of our students are going to have a career as being artists. Carpe diem. To the artists, we wish you paint never runs out and may you never run out of ideas. Before you tonight are a group of people who are last but definitely not least. This year, these students have added culture to Greenfield. The band did quite well this year by receiving a superior rating at state band contest, a feat not accomplished in 3 years. Carpe diem. To the band, we wish you the ability during marching season to play so loud that you bust a lip. I have probably missed a few people and would like to apologize. Every senior has contributed something to Edward Lee McLean High School, be it great or small. None of these accomplishments would have been possible without Mr. Edward Lee McLean's donation to Greenfield, Ohio. He's the man who truly understood how to seize the day. On behalf of my fellow seniors, I would like to thank our teachers for helping us learn information that will come in handy with the rest of our lives. I would also like to thank our parents for helping us study, taking us to practice, or for just being there. I also would like to thank Mr. Del Canar for helping me write this speech. On our different pathways, may we all seize the day.
Bill, with great respect for your academic achievements at McLean High School, it's my privilege to present you with this medallion and certificate to honor you as valedictorian of the McLean High School class of 1990. Andrea Lynn Baird Heckert, salutatorian of the class of 1990, will now address the class.
Our future has always seemed to be in the distance, something that was unobtainable, but the future does become the present. Walt Whitman, in his poem, There Was a Child Went Forth, says, "There was a child went forth every day, and the first object he looked upon, that object he became. And that object became part of him for the day or a certain part of the day, or for many years of stretching cycles." For years we have lived like this. When we were in kindergarten, grown-ups were our idols. We imagined we were doctors, nurses, teachers, and firemen. Later, in junior high, peer pressure made us want to be just like all the other kids. And in high school, we began to become individuals instead of imitating others. Now that we are beginning our future, we will have to be ourselves and not let others influence us. This is the first time in our lives that we've been able to make our own decisions about the future, and the choices we make now will affect us for the rest of our lives. Many of us have already made plans for the future. Some will go to college, some to the military, and others will start working. Some will get married, move away, or stay in Greenfield. I hope everyone has a successful future by their own standards. Everyone's future will be different, but I believe the future can be whatever you want it to be if you work hard enough. Quoting again from Whitman, "Whatever it is, it avails not. Distance avails not, and place avails not. Nothing is unattainable. If you really want something and you are willing to work for it, nothing will stop you from achieving your goals." This is not to say you will never have problems. Everyone will have unexpected problems in their future. But if you keep working at it and refuse to give up, you can make it through the hard times and get on with your life. When you have problems in your future, just remember, it is not upon you alone the dark patches fall.
Andrea, with great respect for your academic achievements at McLean High School, it's my privilege to present you with this medallion and certificate to honor you as salutatorian of the McLean High School class of 1990. Mrs. Hunter?
On behalf of the Board of Education, it gives me great pleasure to present scholarships to the graduates of the class of 1990 in memory of distinguished citizens and friends of the Greenfield community. As I call their names, the seniors should come to the stage, please. The James M. and Ruth Watt Memorial Scholarship goes to Miss Olivia S. Wilkin. Also, a Watt Scholarship goes to Miss K. L. Campbell. Another Watt Scholarship to Mr. John M. Penwell. And also another Watt Scholarship to Miss Jennifer S. Kelly. Donahoe Scholarships go to Mr. Brett M. Bergstrom. Miss Amy L. Smith. And Miss Angela M. Smart. And the Hiding Spelled Scholarship will go to Andrea Hecker. Let's give all these graduates a round of applause. At this time, we recognize and congratulate those who have received other awards. Please hold your applause until all names have been called. And I would ask that all the recipients just please stand at their chairs. Southern State Trustee Scholarship, Andrea Lynn Baird Heckert. Please hold your applause till we're through. Thank you. Southern State Trustee Scholarship, Sherry Lynn Barnett. Southern State Presidential Art Scholarship, Brent Edward Gladel. Southern State Summer Scholarship, Andrea Lynn Baird Hecker. Travis Turvey Scholarship, Holly Beth Stanley. Ball State Presidential Scholarship, Angela Dawn Tompkins. State of Ohio Board of Regents Scholarship, Andrea Lynn Baird Hecker. National Honor Society Scholarship, Andrea Lynn Baird Hecker. Brett Marshall Bergstrom. William Glenn Doan. Tamara Jo Dodds. Derek Allen Johnson. Jennifer Sue Kelly. Constance Renee Lane. Kimberly K. Mess. John Martin Penwell. Thomas Edward Scanlon. Michelle Lee Sims. Amy Lynette Smith. Heidi Jo Smith. Holly Beth Stanley. Jeffrey Michael Stone. Pamela Joy Wagner. And Olivia Simone Wilkin. The Wilmington College Honor Scholarship goes to Randall Jan Anderson Jr., Derek Allen Johnson. Athletic Booster Scholarship, Tamara Jo Dodds, Edgar Austin Bolander. McDonald's Ray A. Kroc Youth Achievement Award goes to Brett Marshall Bergstrom. Greenfield Music and Drama Club Scholarship, Jennifer Lee Cornett, Tamara Jo Dodds, Michelle Lee Sims, Olivia Simone Wilkin. The Dimension Cable Scholarship, Dana Lynn Anderson. Moorhead State University Award, Constance Renee Lane. Wright State University Valedictorian and Honors Scholarship, William Glendone. Columbus School of Art and Design Scholarship, Christopher Lee Beatty. Ohio Field and Track Scholarship, Brett Marshall Bergstrom. Methodist Scholarship, Jennifer Leigh Cornett. J. Walter Malone Scholarship, William Glendone. Northern Kentucky Talent Scholarship, Tamara Jo Dodds. Heidelberg Presidential Scholarship, Tamara Jo Dodds. Heidelberg Talent Scholarship, Tamara Jo Dodds. Berea College Scholarship, Jennifer Rebecca Free. Joseph Daniel Great and Greg A. Sterling. Woody Williams Scholarship, Jennifer Sue Kelly. Bowman Ash Scholarship to Miami University of Florida, Patrick Henry Parker. Good Hope Lions Club Scholarship, John Martin Penwell. Edison State Athletic Scholarship, Richard Ashley Rannells. Virginia Ocasek Memorial Scholarship, Michelle Lee Sims. Capital University Performance Scholarship, Michelle Lee Sims. Ohio Dominican Scholarship, Holly Beth Stanley. And Shenandoah College and Conservatory Talent Scholarship, Olivia Simone Wilkin. Let's give all of these graduates a round of applause.
Approximately 1 year ago, the Board of Education of the Greenfield Exempted Village School District granted the approval for the establishment of the Greenfield Schools Alumni Scholarship. Currently, we are collecting money to use as the principal, and our hopes down the line is for the interest to be awarded in the form of additional scholarships to graduating seniors from McLean High School. If you are interested in helping in this cause, you may send your donation to either myself, principal of McLean High School, or to Mr. Bill Swords, treasurer of the high school, treasurer of the school district. Each year, the counselor responsible for the senior class spends many hours attempting to secure scholarships, grants, and loans for students, and this year is no exception. Mr. McFadden, counselor for the senior class, would you please stand over here? Mr. McFadden has been at that business for quite some time, and I am very proud to say that as of the awards this evening, the class of 1990, the members who have been in this class during this school year, have earned to date $440,000 worth of scholarship money. Congratulations. McLean High School maintains a close working relationship with the Great Oaks Joint Vocational School District and the Laurel Oaks Career Development Campus, which is part of the Great Oaks District. Mr. Tom Beatty, member of the Greenfield Board of Education, represents our district on the Great Oaks Board of Education. Each year, approximately 100 of our students attend Laurel Oaks, where they receive a fine education in a variety of vocational programs. Mr. Ray Griffith, Assistant Director, and Mr. Leon Bradley, Career Specialist at Laurel Oaks campus, are with us on stage this evening representing Laurel Oaks. Gentlemen, will you please stand Would you join me in welcoming these gentlemen? Ten members of the class of 1990 have been awarded the Presidential Academic Fitness Award. This award was initiated by President Ronald Reagan to recognize outstanding graduating seniors of our nation's schools. To receive this award, the student must have attained a B+ average throughout high school, received a score at or above the 80th percentile on any nationally recognized achievement test or college placement test. The student must also have completed at least 12 high school units in the new basics, which include English, mathematics, science, social studies, foreign language, and computer science. Will the following seniors please stand? Brett Marshall Bergstrom, William Glenn Doan, Tamara Jo Dodds, Andrea Lynn Baird Heckert, Derek Allen Johnson, Jennifer Sue Kelly, John Martin Penwell, Thomas Edward Scanlon, Amy Lynette Smith, Olivia Simone Wilkin. Please recognize these seniors for having received the Presidential Academic Fitness Award. "18 members of the class of 1990 received the State Board of Education Award for Distinction in Basic Studies. To qualify for this award, the student must have satisfactorily completed the following: 4 units of English, 3 units of mathematics, including 1 unit of algebra and 1 unit of geometry, 3 units of science, including 2 units from biology, chemistry, and physics, 3 units of social studies, including 2 units of history and 1/2 unit of government, 3 units of foreign language, including no less than 2 units of any one language. Will the following seniors please stand? Brett Marshall Bergstrom, Kay Lynn Campbell, William Glenn Doan, Mona Lynn Easter, Joseph Daniel Great, Andrea Lynn Baird Heckert, Jennifer Sue Kelly, Constance Renee Lane, Jennifer Ann Orball, Julie Ann Schiller, Buffy Jo Shanks, Angela Marie Smart, Amy Lynette Smith, Holly Beth Stanley, Angela Dawn Tompkins, Kimberly Dawn Walk, Olivia Simone Wilkin, Lisa Ann Weiskup. Please recognize these seniors for having received the State Board of Education Award for Distinction in Basic Studies. Six members of the class of 1990 received the State Board of Education Award for Distinction for Vocational Studies. No more than 10% of each vocational class may be given this award. To qualify for the award, a student must have satisfactorily met high qualifications under personal qualities, school activities, skill proficiencies. Will the following seniors please stand? Mitchell Dean Claycomb, Daniel Kenneth Aug, Timothy Andrew Pollock, Julie Ann Schiller, Angela Marie Smart, Angela Ray Stafford. Please recognize these seniors for having received the State Board of Education Award for Distinction in Vocational Studies. Mrs. Hunter? Mrs. Hunter, it's with great pleasure that I present to you the Greenfield Exempted Village Board of Education the 133 members of the graduating class of 1990. I recommend that these students, each of whom has completed the graduation requirements of the State of Ohio and the Greenfield Exempted Village Board of Education, be granted diplomas.
Thank you, Dr. Strain. Before I accept the class, I would like to read something that was printed in a program in one of my daughter's gymnastics meets a couple of years ago. It is not only appropriate for competition, but also for these graduates who are about to enter into a new phase of their lives. And this is how it goes. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win, but you think you can't, it's almost a cinch that you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out of the world we find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battle doesn't always go to the swifter or faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. On behalf of the Board of Education of the Greenfield Exempted Village School District, I proudly accept this McLean High School graduating class of 1990. Dr. Strain.
Michael Allen Hutchinson, President of the Class of 1990. Brent Edward Gladle, Vice President of the Class of 1990. Buffy Jo Shanks, Secretary of the Class of 1990. Jennifer Sue Kelly, Treasurer of the Class of 1990. William Glenn Doan, Valedictorian of the Class of 1990. Andrea Lynn Baird Heckert, Salutatorian of the Class of 1990. Darren Perry Adams. Brian Wayne Adkins. Dana Lynn Anderson. Jeremy L. Anderson. Kelly Michelle Anderson. Kevin Michael Anderson. Rondell Jan Anderson, Jr. Robert Scott Badgley. Sherry Lynn Barnett. Scott Allen Barnhart. Jeff D. Benner. Brett Marshall Bergstrom. Timothy Ronald Bogard. Edgar Austin Bolander. Amber Jo Bray. Charles Leroy Brigner. Patricia Gail Brown. Shannon Maria Burdette. Richard John Buskirk. Kyle Bradley Cameron. Angela Janine Campbell. Kay Lynn Campbell. Bolivar Gonzalez Canelos. Bonnie Jo Kaplinger. Michelle Renee Carroll. Mitchell Dean Claycomb. Brian Scott Collins. John Anderson Corcoran. Jennifer Lee Cornett. Bobby Lee Cottrell. Angela Renee Cowman. Paula Renee Cox. Chad Warren Cruzy. Roger Moody Cruzy. Tamara Jo Dodds. Mona Lynn Easter. Stephen Kyle Emmerich. Jenny Rebecca Free. Joseph Daniel Great. Jeffrey Stephen Green. Jennifer Lynn Green. Mary Lou Green. Chad Edwin Haynes. Richard Allen Hakes. Joshua Dale Hall. Melissa Ann Hawkins. Randolph Alonzo Hester. Thormira Lynette Hoffer. Jason Allen Humphreys. Christopher Lee Jenkins. Derek Allen Johnson. Ernie Lee Johnson. Christy Sue Kearns. Robert Lewis Kirsch, Jr. Christopher James Klein. Constance Renee Lane. Melina Aniki Lane. Jeffrey L. McNamee. Beth Ann McNeil. Christopher Lee Beatty. Jeff Mercer's first. Yeah, should begin there. Jeffrey Lynn Mercer II. Ernest David Merritt. William Edward Merritt. Kimberly K. Mess. Donna Marie Miller. Allison Miracle. Angel Renee Mitchell. Robert Harley Moorhead. Robert Milton Morrison. Dean Thomas O'Connor. Daniel Kenneth Ogg. Tanya Jo Oppie. Jennifer Ann Orball. Frederick M. Osborne. Nicholas Wayne Oyer. Patrick Henry Parker. Russell Paul Jr. John Martin Penwell. Brandy Lee Feaster. Brian J. Pitzer. Timothy Andrew Pollock. Andrea Lynette Posey. Susan Lee Priest. Richard Ashley Rannells. Jeffrey Wayne Robinette. Thomas Edward Scanlon. Julie Ann Schiller. Thomas Albert Schrader. Mark Allen Shoemaker. Jennifer Lynn Shope. Daniel Jason Shriver. Michelle Lee Sims. Angela Marie Smart. Amy Lynette Smith. Chad Jason Smith. Heidi Jo Smith. Joseph Patrick Smith II. Melinda Jean Sora. Alicia K. Sowers. Angela Ray Stafford. Holly Beth Stanley. Greg A. Sterling. Jeffrey Michael Stone. Carla K. Stuckey. Todd Jeremy Swift. Gail Renee Taylor. Kristen Jean Toll. Angela Dawn Tompkins. Heather Renee Troutner. James Michael Jefferson Underwood. Pamela Joy Wagner. Tony Allen Ward. Kimberly Dawn Walk. Jimmy Dale Whitley, Jr. Kelly Joe Wilson. Troy Lee Wilson. Lisa Ann Weiskup. Please rise and join the class of 1990 in singing the Alma Mater.
Please receive the benediction. God our Father, may you go with us as we leave this place. May you bless the future of these young people as they go out into the world to earn a living, to raise their families, and to make a contribution to their society. May you bless them, may you keep them, may you make your face to shine upon them, and give them peace. Amen.